name is Jerry. You're watching 3D HP, and this is part 2 of Goodies in the Mail from Sunlu. In the previous video, I got the filament dryer that Sunlu sent me out to do a review on with the PLA that you've seen sitting here on the table. Now let's talk about the PLA. I've got a white and a black. A few weeks back, eNotepad, a Sunlu company, sent me their black and white PETG to try out, and I did a review and a video on, and made lots of cool prints. Now let's check out their PLA. Pretty green box if you like the color green. Looks nice. And on the back, it's got their PLA, all their different products on the back. It's got print temperatures, different printing platforms, tolerances, diameter. Vacuum pack is very tight. Desiccant pack in the middle. And a little cardboard tab so that when your filament runs out, you go to change it, you can slide on the cardboard so you don't lose track of where the end is. It's very well packaged. Let's take a look at it. Packaging rips open very easy. It's wound nice. And the second one I will open up when I get ready to print with it. I'm probably going to print something really big on my Hypercube. We'll have to wait and see. And it's made in China, white PLA, 1.75 millimeter. Looks nice. Its vacuum pack is extremely tight. There are no stickers in the box. That's always nice to have stickers. Sunlu includes stickers in your packages. People like stickers. So that looks pretty good. But we're going to start off with printing with the black. And we'll go from there. Well, here are some of the goodies that I'm printing with the Sunlu black PLA. Over here on the Ender 3 V2, I printed a Slinky. And the reason I wanted the Slinky is I have a Warkaki chibi here that I want to put on a Slinky so I can have it bounce up and down, basically. And this just got done a few minutes ago, so I'm going to let the bed cool down more in this Ender 3 V2 and I'll take off the Slinky. The file on Thingiverse said the man that designed it, I'll put a link in the description below, but he said he had trouble separating all the layers, so we'll see how that goes. I printed that with the Crowley slicer, which is a version of Cura. And what I originally started printing, I was going to print Chucky at like 275%. I have a little Chucky statue, and it started out on my Hypercube. It was printing great until it wasn't. Then I started getting under extrusion. Right? It's just, so I wasted a lot of filament. But down here in the lower part of it looks good. I have a, let's see, what do I have there? V6 style hot end clone and a Titan extruder. It's a knockoff, a Titan extruder is what I'm running on it. And it was printing great until it wasn't. And the print I done right before this one with a different type of filament, I printed the mask, it came out fine. But this didn't. But what did print looks really nice. Got a real nice finish on it. Not seeing any problems. I'm just not sure why I had the under extrusion problem. So I'll have to clean up the hot end, readjust the extruder, and try again. So something happened. And then over on my Tevo Tarantula Pro, I'm printing a smaller version of Chucky, which you can see right here. He's up to about his neck. This will probably be done later tonight. But I decided to go with a lot smaller version. And then I also printed a sinking Benchy. I'll show you a picture on the screen of what I did. I dropped it and I put it in S3D upright, and then I dropped it through the bed, and then I printed it. Now, unfortunately, I got a lot of stringing in this print, and I went and looked at my slicer after the fact. I typically print most of my filament at 210. This was cranked up to 215 by accident. I don't know, something I printed a while back. I had cranked it up. I didn't lower it, and I should have dropped it down to about 205. So Chucky, I'm printing at 205. But it came out really nice. So basically when it's on a table, it's going to look like that. It'll look like a Benchy that's sinking. But the quality of the print came out really good, other than a little bit of quite a bit of stringing I got to get rid of. Cobwebs, basically. I'll pick off what I can and take a heat gun and melt the rest. But I thought it'd be pretty cool to have a sinking Benchy instead of just printing the boat upright. So that's something I'm working on. Let's see if I can grab it here. Anyway, Chucky's right here. He's doing really good. So, I forget how big I made him. He's like 150% scale there, the file size. Here's a smaller version of it that I printed a long time ago. Once he's all done, he's going to look like this. This was printed on a different printer a long time ago. Little tiny Chucky. But that's what this was going to be at 250%. So at a later date, I'll have to redo it this big, but that won't be happening for this video. And something I forgot to mention, I went over to my CR10 after this print failed on the Hypercube. I put the black PLA up on the CR10, started printing Chucky again, and then I was in the living room watching TV and I heard a terrible noise. My nozzle was dragging. Seriously bad. I came in and looked at the control box. The screen is just going nuts. It's blinking and it's all garbled and all screwed up. So I guess my Creality board died again. That's the second time I've replaced a board on that particular CR10 in 3.5 years. My original CR10, I've never had trouble with it ever, but for some reason this one CR10, I've had trouble with that board twice. So I got on Amazon, ordered a Big Tree Tech SKR 1.3 version 2. So that should be here tomorrow, so I can get that CR10 back up and running. But as far as for the layer quality, it's on a textured bill sheet from TH3D Flex sheet. It came out really nice, got a real nice texture look to it. What did print looks great, but you know, we need to get the whole print done so I can show you the whole thing. But like I say, the bottom on the Hypercube is here. And then the bottom, that was on the textured PEI sheet from TH3D Studios. Came out really good. See how easy they'll separate. Printed with 100% infill, 0.2 a layer height. Yeah, it looks like it'll be okay. Just got to be careful and just run it all the way around. Okay, well that's the bottom. It's on the bed. That was fused together. We come back up here and see how this side looks. And those look, that last one there is also fused. So anyway, looks like we got a Slinky. It even sounds like a Slinky. Here, let's see if it works. Yep, there it went. So my plan will be to take my Chibi Warkaki, which I'll do before the end of this video is over. I think he's going to be too heavy. Yeah, he's going to be too heavy for it. I'll have to use something smaller. Yeah, that'll just pull down and stay, so that's too heavy for it. Don't have enough spring action, but, you know, kind of looks like a organ. I think those used to call those things, a musical instrument called an organ. And there's a few strings here and there you can see. I'll have to, when I separate the layers, I'll have to pick off. Take my little blue nippers and cut them off, but that came out really good. So we'll be right back with more things to show you. Well, my box just got done on the Ender 3 V2. I got off of Colts. Printed it with a brim. And I was working on this yesterday and I printed it without a brim and I had one corner lift on it really bad. So about halfway through I stopped the print and I printed this again with a brim and it still lifted. It lifted right off of the brim on two corners. So that's really odd. I've never had that happen. I've had corners lift before a long time ago on ABS, but I've never really had the problem on PLA. So I put a brim on it to have more surface area to keep it from lifting and it still lifted. I'll give you a close-up here and show you. But this little box, it prints in place. It's got two gears on it. And look at that. Right off the print bed, it works. It goes down, it latches. Push the button, it springs open. That's pretty cool. I'll put a link in the description where this came from, but print quality looks decent. And that was, I used a Creality slicer and printed that on my Ender 3V2 in the black Sunlu PLA. Pretty cool. And Chucky got done. Remember I was showing you earlier how Chucky screwed up on the Hypercube? Well, here's Chucky a lot smaller that I printed on the Tevo Tarantula Pro. And this is with white PLA from Sunlu. And I turned the temperature down to 205 and I still have some stringing. It's not that bad. And that was printed on PEI. I'll give you a close-up of it here and I'll start pulling off the supports and we can see how it turns out. Here's a close-up of the box again. And this was printed gear down on a brim. And then right here you can see these two corners here that lift a little bit. Ripped right off the brim. But other than that, it's pretty cool. And then Chucky here. Yeah, it came out really good. A few little hairs I got here and there, I'll just take a heat gun and melt them down, shrivel them up, and pull them off. And let's see what just got done over here on Ender 3V2. I printed a functional print this time. Soap dish. Had a brim on it, which is basically in pieces. The soap dish I use in the bathroom, I keep in a bowl, and it always gets lots of liquid and water in it. I'm always having to dump out and kind of melts the soap. So, finish came out real nice on it. We'll do a close-up on everything. That's pretty cool. Lay the bar of soap on top and any liquid goes in the bottom. Just tip it and dump it back in the sink. Well, that came out real nice. The brims usually stay together though, that's kind of shredding apart. See what we got over here on the Tevo. I see some tiny little pieces here, so I gotta figure out what broke off. Little engine, this is also off Cults 3D. Little stringing. Looks like the bottom of the engine might have messed up a little bit, so I'll have to wait and see if I can free that up. But basically, take the side view of the 3-cylinder engine and crank it, and the pistons go up and down. And my Golem just got done over here on the Tevo. me switch cameras here so you guys can see it better. Oh, the raft's coming off real easy. The ports are coming off easy. I sliced this one with S3D. Yeah, it came out nice. It'll look nice and scary all painted up. The white's printing really nice. Let me show you how I take care of all the wisps and stuff I have here, the little cobwebs. Put on my gloves. Grab the trusted heat gun. And let's start with the ship here. The Sunken Banshee. You see I got all the wisps there on it. Just hit it with a heat gun. It'll melt them away. If it balls them up in little tiny balls of plastic, you can always clip them off with your clippers. And like I said, I can touch that up. I can take my little razor knife and touch them up, put a little more heat on it, and I can clip them off with my blue cutters to get everything off there. And over here on the little 3-cylinder engine, which actually works if you crank it. On each one of the connecting rods here, there was a little tiny piece of filament to hold it in place when it printed. I just took a knife and I clipped that off. And the counterweights on the bottom of the engine here and part of the bottom of the block didn't print out properly. I just clipped that off. But other than that, it freed right up and it works. They came out good. And any little tiny wisps that you have there or cobwebs, since you can't clip them off, just take your heat gun. And run over it. And there we got the inner workings of an engine. Came out pretty cool. And for a recap, we've got the Slinky. Came out really nice. I thought it was going to be hard to separate based on what I seen on the file. But once I got the first one started, I just took my fingernail and I spun it and ran it all the way around. It works perfectly fine. On the box here, well, it printed really nice, other than 2 corners here started to lift even though it was on a brim. On my first attempt, I printed it without a brim, and there wasn't enough surface area, I guess, contacting on the Ender 3 V2, but it should have been fine. It lifted, so I put a brim, and it actually pulled up through the brim, and the brim was kind of shredded, which surprised me, because usually brims are thick and solid. But it's functional, prints in place, gear down. That's kind of nice. I got my little robot man here. That printed in place. Had a brim on it just for safety's sake, which I don't really think it was required. That came out real good. He's positional in all positions. And we've got Chucky here. And the white Sunloop PLA came out real good. The Golem came out nice. I have a soap dish. I'll put in my bathroom. Printed nice. And then on this one base, well, this was a printer error when my board died on my CR10. Otherwise, that would have probably came out really nice. Started printing nice. Layers are good. Infill looks good. And then on my Sunken Benchy, printed white, came out nice. And my only really big problem was on my Hypercube, which has been printing perfectly fine. It started out great until it wasn't. I mean, it's going really good, really good, really good. And I got up here about the last 3/4 of an inch or so, and then I started having under extrusion. The Titan clone extruder started clicking on me. So I'm not really sure if this is a filament problem or if it's just my extruder. But like I say, my Hypercube has been fine in the past, been printing fine. But occasionally this happens. So not really, like I say, not really sure if it's filament or if it's an extruder problem. You know, a clog. But basically, yeah, overall, it didn't do too bad. I'll let you guys be the judge, you know, on what you think. But that's basically that's what I have to think, what I think about Sunlu PLA. So, and that's a wrap, folks. Hope you liked this video on Sunlu PLA. I tried out their white and their black, and I hope you have a nice day. Happy printing, and please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.